Crazy. Let's stop with this shit. I signed up for news only. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why did you hire actors and shit? And this isn't even a fucking real gun, and that is a green screen. Get me the fucking news.
Okay.
Hello there, faggots. My name is Jacket, and this is my show, Late News with Jacket. Today's topic is going to be video games specifically. Let's begin. GTA 6 release date, latest Rockstar news and the 4 platforms it needs to launch on. The GTA 6 release date looks as far away as ever, but just how long will fans be waiting for the big announcement from Rockstar Games? By Gary Jones, published 10:42 p.m. Wednesday, April 3rd, 2019. Vertical bracket updated 10:59 p.m. Wednesday, April 3rd, 2019. To put it mildly, GTA 5 is going to be a massive game when it is finally announced by Rockstar Games. But fans still don't know how long they might be waiting to play the new title in the popular series. The good news is we're almost 100% guaranteed to see GTA 6 announced in the future. The bad news is that we don't know when that will happen, as the usual 5-year cycle between Grand Theft Auto games has been broken. Rockstar released RDR2 in 2018, but the overwhelming success of GTA Online seems to have taken the studio a little off guard. Red Dead 2 was delayed significantly by Rockstar, meaning its release may have been affected by how well GTA Online was performing. Rockstar said at the time that the game required further polish, but some analysts believe it also has something to do with expanding the game's online mode. But from the early showing of Red Dead Online, it doesn't appear it will be cannibalizing GTA Online like first thought. Having a direct competitor with plenty of free content already has left many Red Dead Online fans wanting to more. It's already been reported that the number of people playing RDR2 multiplayer has dropped. So could Rockstar Games look to ramp up their plans for GTA 6 to make way for their next massive online venture? And what platforms will it arrive on? It's probably too early to say if Rockstar will speed things up, considering as Red Dead Online is still in beta and could very well recover handsomely in the months to come. And the platforms it needs to arrive on should follow closely with how the release date pans out for the development. If GTA 6 can be launched in 2020, then there will be a number to choose from. This list would include PS5, Xbox 2, PC and Google Stadia as the main core. However, given how many current-gen consoles have sold, the PS4 and Xbox One would be good shouts too. However, since many believe that GTA 6 won't arrive until at least 2021, we can probably forget about the current gaming machines. A recent recruitment drive at various Rockstar studios suggests that something big is in the works. In other Rockstar-related news, new jobs listings from the studio confirm it's been hiring people for a big next-generation project. Alright, well, next thing is Konami. PS Plus, April's free PS4 games are available now. April is finally here, which means there are new free games to download if you're a PS Plus member. Unfortunately, with PS3 and Vita games no longer part of the monthly package, there are only 2 PS4 games in total, and this latest pair of games isn't quite on the same level as March's fantastic offerings. April's PS Plus games are The Surge and Conan Exiles, and they are available to download right now. The Surge is a science fiction RPG heavily inspired by the Dark Souls series and takes place in a grim, dystopian future where the world has been ravaged by war and environmental diseases. Robots and clones make up a majority of the workforce, so the humans who are left must fight to survive, while wearing exoskeleton implants intended to boost speed and strength. Critic Daniel Starkey gave the game a 7/10 in GameSpot's. Not everything hits, but The Surge works far more often than it doesn't, and what it does change is mostly better executed here than in its forebears, Starkey wrote. Dexter Team has crafted a satisfying adventure that breathes new life into a flooded subgenre. Then there's Conan Exiles, an open-world survival adventure set in the universe of Conan the Barbarian. You play a customizable character who has been rescued by Conan and must now explore the harsh world known as the Exiled Lands. Resource gathering, item crafting, and shelter building all play a role in your quest for survival. However, the game received a 3/10 in GameSpot's Conan Exiles review. Critic James Swinbanks took issue with the game's multiple bugs, confusing AI, and unexciting combat. Ultimately, Conan Exiles is one of the most unsatisfying games I've ever played, he wrote. Its crafting and resource systems may be dense enough that the ultra-patient could find something to enjoy here, but anyone else would likely walk away with their hands thrown up in defeat. That said, both of these games are totally free, so if they sound interesting to you, be sure to download and try them out while they are available next month. Get April's PS Plus free games, The Surge and Conan Exiles. Alright, next thing is The Last of Us 2 workbench and weapon upgrade spotted in Naughty Dog Dev Diary. It's turning out to be quite the week for The Last of Us 2. Not only did the PlayStation Store seemingly imply that Naughty Dog's third-person action adventure would be arriving sometime this year, but a developer diary from the studio earlier last month turns out it's been hiding some new revelations about the game in question. As spotted by The Last of Us eagle-eyed fanbase on Reddit, Naughty Dog's International Women's Day video from March 8 features glimpses of various employees working on the sequel, and the blink and you'll miss it images seen on their desktops gives us our best look at the game since E3 2018. At 050, for example, you can spot what appears to be Joel moving around as the playable character in the screen in the background, but it's the 038 mark which proves the most prominent in unofficially revealing more about The Last of Us 2 before its next big PR push. Have a look for yourself before we get into it. Now, pause, zoom, and enhance. The screenshot behind Naughty Dog designer Maria Cappel's face is almost definitely one a workbench, The Last of Us stationary recuperation hubs, where you could upgrade and modify your arsenal of weapons. You can even see the word upgrade in the top left of the screen, and the highlight is over a revolver pistol. While this isn't exactly a bombshell of a revelation for those familiar with The Last of Us gameplay, the fact that workbenches are seemingly returning with a much better looking user interface will be a small comfort to core fans. This is, of course, all a work in progress, and The Last of Us 2's finished workbench could look completely different to what we're seeing here, or maybe eventually scrapped altogether. There's also a chance that we are looking at a screenshot from The Last of Us 2's yet to be announced multiplayer mode, though the mug in the background again suggests we are looking at an in-game workbench. Yes, maybe I am overthinking it, but until Naughty Dog decides to reveal more about its follow-up to a last-gen masterpiece, it's all we've got. The Last of Us 2 is already one of our most anticipated new games of 2019. I think The Last of Us 2 might be good anyway. Let's move on to the next thing, shall we? Okay, Bookie. Next thing is Resident Evil 2's price just dropped to $40 PS4, Xbox One. One of the best games released so far this year is already on sale. Resident Evil 2, Capcom's remake of the horror classic, is selling for just $40, 33% off. Resident Evil 2 released on January 25, less than 3 months ago, so this is an excellent time to pick up the game for Xbox One or PS4, if you haven't already. For Amazon, GameStop, and Best Buy, it's unclear how long this $20 off discount will last, and the PlayStation Store's deal will end this coming Monday, April 8, at 8 a.m. ET 11 a.m. So hop in this offer fast, if you're interested in buying the game. Goddamn, next thing is, why Valve actually gets less than 30% off Steam game sales. Since Epic started taking a 12% cut off sales revenue generated in its new game store, much has been made of whether Steam's baseline 30% revenue cut is justified. But a new analysis shows that Valve sometimes receives much less than that headline revenue percentage for some of the most popular games on Steam. The reason for the discrepancy is Steam keys, which developers can generate pretty much at will to sell through non-Steam storefronts and brick-and-mortar retailers. While these key-based purchases are still redeemed through Steam and can take advantage of Steam's suite of features, Valve actually takes no commission from sales that don't take place directly through its own storefront. Valve doesn't directly publicize how many of a game's sales come from keys versus direct Steam purchases. But as Twitter user @ROPOTPRUSH recently pointed out, the Steam Store does publish the numbers of user reviews that come from Steam purchases versus other key-based sources, a feature designed to prevent key-based review manipulation. Those review ratios might not match exactly with the overall purchase ratios and maybe key-based purchasers offer reviews at significantly different rates than direct purchasers, for instance. Still, it's the best publicly available estimate we have, especially when taken across multiple games. So over at the ResetEra forums, user Napil did just that, using a bit of coding to pull out the Steam versus non-Steam review ratios for the 100 most popular games in the service, as defined by Steam Spy and a supporting API. The results, for non-free-to-play titles, show that on average, 72% of games are purchased through Steam, while 28% are purchased through third parties. And while that range can vary widely for individual games, the vast majority, 80%, register between 50 and 80% of their reviews through direct Steam sales. When the revenue Valve is missing from these Steam keys is taken out, the company's average cut across these popular games hovers around 20% of all sales revenue rather than 30%. Varying non-Steam sales prices complicate this calculation a bit, though Valve requires key-based sale prices to be comparable to prices offered in Steam itself. That's all, before you consider Valve's December decision to lower its top line cut by 5 to 10% for games starting when they hit $10 million in revenue. Remember also that Valve incurs plenty of costs for these Steam key sales. Beyond the mere bandwidth costs for game and update downloads, key-based sales can still access the same online lobbies, achievement and leaderboard systems, Steam Workshop inventory management, Steam server APIs, anti-cheat services, and everything else that comes with being on Steam. Epic, in the other hand, provides very few of these services in exchange for the 12% cut in its game store, though the company does have a roadmap to roll out many similar features in the coming months. Additionally, it's worth noting that, while Valve is often taking less than 30%, this doesn't mean publishers are necessarily keeping more than 70% of their revenue by using Steam keys. Those keys are often sold in other platforms that take their own cut, which sometimes amount to the same as Steam's, though platforms like Itch.io and Humble Bundle generally take much less. Steam also imposes some limits in key generation to prevent developers from essentially piggybacking off of Steam's services, while solely selling games directly to consumers elsewhere. None of this necessarily means Steam's 30% cut of direct game sales is justified, or that Valve couldn't afford to lower its rates. But the next time you hear about Valve's 30% headline revenue cut, keep in mind that the functional proportion of total sales the company receives is probably quite a bit lower. Wow, well damn. Next thing is, Windows 10 stable April 2019 update will cause bugs in some games. Windows 10's April 2019 update contains a change that causes some PC games to crash Windows with a blue screen of death. Not all games have fixed the problem, but Microsoft has confirmed it's releasing the update anyway. Okay, let's be fair here, most affected PC games have fixed the problem and won't freeze your system. But some will, and we don't know which. This change feels like a betrayal of Microsoft's commitment to backward compatibility. It's especially galling considering Windows 10 users have no way to opt out of these updates if they play an affected game. Update: Microsoft just announced it will abandon Windows 10's forced updates and give more control to PC users, while Fortnite, and more, started crashing Windows. In development, builds of Windows 10's April 2019 update and also known as 19H1 and some anti-cheat programs required by games cause Windows to crash with a green screen of death, also known as exhaust. Green screens of death are just how traditional blue screens of death (exhausts) appear on insider builds, so you will see a blue screen of death if you encounter this bug once Windows 10's April 2019 update is stable. The most popular software affected was the Battle anti-cheat software used in Fortnite, which caused bugs and made Fortnite unplayable in development builds of Windows 10. It's not just that the game was unplayable and when you launched Fortnite, Windows would freeze. To protect Windows insiders from system freezes, Microsoft put an upgrade block in place that prevented Windows insiders with games like Fortnite installed from installing the latest operating system builds. In March 28th, Microsoft wrote, many games that use anti-cheat software had released fixes for the issue causing PCs to bug check. Microsoft also said it was lifting the upgrade block. But wait, Microsoft didn't say all games had fixed the issue. Microsoft confirms it. Some games will cause bugs. Here's the problem. An operating system level change resulted in software freezing the operating system. But Microsoft hasn't fixed this at the operating system level. Instead, it's just expecting game developers to fix their anti-cheat software. That means that, if you play a game that hasn't yet been patched, Windows will suddenly freeze and bring down your entire operating system. This isn't just our speculation. Microsoft's Brandon LeBlanc, Senior Program Manager on the Windows Insider program team, confirmed that affected games will continue to freeze the Windows operating system on Twitter. Here's picture. In other words, your Windows 10 PC will install the latest software, even if you have an affected game installed, and your PC will start blue screening when you play the game. But it's not Microsoft's fault. Microsoft says third parties are responsible and you should bug them for a fix. Microsoft is clearly stuck between a rock and a hard place here. Anti-cheat programs were probably doing some stupid things with the Windows kernel, and stopping it likely makes Windows 10 better and more secure. But Microsoft knows this change will break existing software, and none of those matters to the gamer who suddenly finds their operating system blue screening after Windows 10 decides to automatically install an update. As Rafael Rivera put it in the Twitter discussion, users won't know it's the game's fault. Bringing down the system used to be a big no-no at Microsoft. Next thing is pretty funny. Man arrested after threatening to kill Square Enix staff. A 25-year-old nursing care worker has been arrested after allegedly emailing Square Enix, threatening to kill staff. According to Lividor News, the man is accused of sending an email in February 5 to Square Enix's Tokyo office that read, "Hey staff, tomorrow I'm going to kill you, get ready. Left square bracket. For your punishment, right square bracket, left square bracket, sick right square bracket." In Japanese, the last part of the threat is Kubira Tokyo, which literally means go wash your neck. The expression has its roots in ritualistic samurai suicide. After a samurai would disembowel himself, the Keishakunin would then slice off his head. Here, washing one's neck refers to get ready for this ultimate punishment. The threat caused Square Enix to beef up security. The man was finally arrested in March 29th and has confessed. "I spent over 200,000 yen, $1,794, in the game and I didn't get the left square bracket in-game right square bracket item I wanted, so I sent the email out of revenge," he reportedly said. As website Kamiosoka points out, it sounds like the money was spent on a virtual gacha, which is akin to a loot box. Gacha items are the video game equivalent of capsule toys, called gacha in Japanese. Last September, around 30 emails were sent to Square Enix with the word "co" written in Japanese. Authorities are now investigating whether or not those are connected to the suspect. What a retard. Okay, next thing is, SEGA will release the Genesis Mini in September 19th. SEGA will release its Sega Genesis Mini worldwide in September 19th, it said today. It will include 40 games, including Sonic the Hedgehog, Monster Heroes, and Castlevania Bloodlines. SEGA made the announcement in stage at SEGA Face 2019, its annual fan event in Tokyo. There, it announced games for the Japanese Mega Drive Mini, including Sonic 2, 2, Shining Force, Castlevania Bloodlines, Powerball, Monster Heroes, Comic Zone, Red Hero, Space Harrier 2nd, and Madao Monogatari Ichi. Since a few of these games are Japan only, it stood to reason that the US and European lineups will be different. Later, Sega did announce the following games for the US version. Here's a pick of that list. In a separate presentation at Sega Face, Sega said that N2, the developer behind Sega Ages, is creating the software for the device. It also said that the system will include different regional variations of some games. For example, the Mega Drive Mini in Japan will include the US, European, and Japanese versions of Castlevania Bloodlines. It didn't say if the overseas versions of the device would similarly contain different regional variations, but it seems likely. Is there any more news? Well shit, there's not. Goodbye faggots, I gotta go do your mom raffle deo. XDDD swah swah swah.